All right, now, people. Well, I wanted to talk about the films that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. And I've seen quite a number of films. It looks like I've seen in the last 2 weeks an amazing number of films. It looks like 7 films in 2 weeks. So that is amazing. That's like film festival level for me. But it's been a lot of stuff that I wanted to see, and there's stuff that I wasn't able to see because I was viewing this other films. I lost the opportunity of seeing some other things I wanted to see. The Ritz right now, it's had a number of things good, and it's a shame I wasn't able to see everything. But it's to run down the stuff that I did see. On August 7th, which is a Tuesday, I saw Oslo, August 31st, which was maybe the best film I've seen from Scandinavia. I haven't seen a huge number of films from the Scandinavian country. This particular film was from Norway. But just to talk about that area in general right now, Scandinavia is really putting out a lot of really great films at the moment. A lot of them are like really gritty subject matter, like crime and things like that. So stuff you wouldn't really expect from that part of the world, but they're showing the full range of things that are happening in those societies, and maybe sometimes a little sensational. Films I'm thinking about right now are like films that are some of these films are still in circulation, like Headhunter, um, was Easy Money. Easy Money was from Sweden. Headhunter was from Norway. But this is going to talk about Oslo, August 31st. Probably one of the greatest films I've seen on drug addiction that I've ever, from any country or for any time period. So if you get a chance, I would definitely say, go see that film. On Wednesday, August 8th, saw Ruby Sparks. Now, a romantic comedy, I guess. It was okay. One thing one thing I like to do when I see a film, I like to get something out of it. You know, see something that's a reflection of real life. And one of the things from Ruby Sparks is that when you see like the main character who's kind of like a geeky guy, a nerd, and he was kind of detached from his family. He was kind of detached. Like not he was close to these people, but it was kind of like an emotional distance there, and that affected his relationship with Ruby. And I think that emotional distance is something that a lot of like geeky, nerdy guys or nerdy people in general have, where they're kind of separated, and it sometimes looks like they don't know how to have a good time or let their hair down, so to speak. You know, um, so that was one of the valuable things I got from that film. Overall, it's a good film to see. It's not great, but it's worth seeing. Uh, the next day, Thursday, August 9th, I saw Elena, which I think I'm pronouncing it right, Elena. And I think it can be pronounced a couple different ways, but I think Elena is the traditional way to pronounce that name. And that was a film from Russia. Also, another good movie. I don't think I've seen a lot of Russian films. I think some of the films I've seen were from this old Soviet era. You know, um, but this was pretty good, and I don't know if I really got a lot out of it other than just enjoying it as a good work of art. Um, but yeah, that was worth seeing if you get a chance to see it. The following week, the next film that I saw was on Wednesday, and that's August 15th, and that was Compliance. Now, Compliance, I don't sure when that's going to hit the theaters. It may have, I don't know, it may have hit the theaters in some places already. I don't think it's, I'm not sure when it's going to hit the Philadelphia. I saw it at a screening, a pre-screening before it was released, because I'm a member of the Philadelphia Film Society, and they send notices for me when new screenings are coming up, and I get to see the movie for free. I paid to become a member, but the screening itself I don't have to pay. I just have to sign up. I show up. You know, I try to support the theater though. I buy popcorn or something, but But just seeing the film is just great. Now, the one thing is, a lot of the seats are reserved. I think it's reserved for, I don't know if it's for members of the media or just for people from the film society that purchase a higher level membership. So, you cannot sit in certain seats. They're blocked off. And, I was in the front row for that. And if you ever been in the front row of a movie theater, it's an experience seeing a film from the front row. I mean, it changes your whole viewpoint of watching the film. And but you get used to it after a few moments. You're sitting up there, you're looking straight up. But it was I don't know how to, this film, after I saw it for the whole following day, it was on my mind. I was running different things in my mind about this film. And just to run down a little bit, it's about a girl who's been accused by someone over the phone that said they're a police officer of stealing a woman's purse, and she worked at a fast food joint. The guy that says he's a police officer asked the manager at the fast food joint to help him with his investigation. They strip search her and all this other stuff. It's supposedly based on a true story, and apparently this type of thing happened in a number of different establishments in the United States. I think in the movie they set up to 70 different establishments where they, I guess, played along. This guy is not an actual police officer. He's just some nut at home calling places. So, and because he's a person of authority, people listen to him. They think he's a police officer. So, the stuff he's saying, it must be right? And then also the guy is saying, I'm taking full responsibility for this. So if this would be my ass if something goes wrong here. So just do this to help me out. And and unfortunately in real life, they've done experiments for this. When there's a person of authority giving you the authorization to do things, then people feel like, well, I'm just doing my duty. How many times have we heard that? Dictatorships and all this other things, people just saying they're doing their duty. So that's a good movie. It was very strange because I don't think a lot of people wouldn't have done the stuff that they did in that film. But, life is strange. People do certain things. Next day I saw at the African American Museum here in Philadelphia, The Doctor from Gafire, which was okay. I mean, I love seeing African film because it's very hard to see. So, although the film was okay, just the experience of going to see African film is something I always will never take lightly, because it's so rare. So I did enjoy this experience of going to go and see that film. That was that Thursday, August 16th, on The Doctor from Gafire. I believe it was from Niger. And then finally, last film I'm going to talk about here is Searching for Sugar Man. Saw that on Friday, yesterday, August 17th. Great film, great documentary. And, I've never heard of this guy, Rodriguez, but that's the story of the film. Most people never heard of Rodriguez. So I want anybody to, just research it on the web, read a real review, not just someone talking about it like I do. This is to give you a reflection of what I saw. But, and I think I'm going to go get the soundtrack of that movie. I'm going to post a link because I don't have a lot of time to talk about this film. There's so many films I'm trying to cover here because it's been like 2 weeks since it's 2 weeks of seeing movies here. But what I'm trying to do with this film log is to create a record of the films that I've seen over time, because a lot of times you forget. The first part of this year I've seen so many films, I forgot half of the stuff I saw, because I'm not keeping a record of it, So this is part of it, keeping a record of my experiences and uploading to YouTube. All right, peace.